welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about distance and midpoint formulas. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's start off with an example. The distance between any 2 points, P and Q, is written as PQ. If P and Q are points on a number line, PQ will be the absolute value of the difference between their coordinates. Look at this number line. Let's say that point P is here at -3 and point Q is here at +2. Let's go ahead and try to solve for the distance between these 2 points. However, before we do that, there's something that you will need to understand. The absolute value of A minus the absolute value of B is going to equal the absolute value of B minus A. Since this is the case, you can subtract the coordinates in either order. So let's go ahead and do this for the points P and Q as they are shown. So PQ can equal the absolute value of 2 minus the other point, which is -3. 2 minus a -3 equals 5. So we're going to have the absolute value of 5. Remember that the absolute value means the distance from that point to 0. So the distance from the number 5 to 0 is 5. So the absolute value of 5 is 5. Now let's try this, but this time let's subtract P from Q. So for PQ, we are going to have the absolute value of -3 minus 2. This equals -5, so we are left with the absolute value of -5. -5 is 5 points away from 0, so the absolute value of -5 equals 5. So we know that the distance between these 2 points is 5. Now that we know how to solve for the distance of a number line, let's go ahead and learn how to solve for the distance between points which are not on the same line. The distance formula states this. The distance between the points P1 and P2 is the square root of the second x coordinate minus the first x coordinate squared plus the second y coordinate minus the first y coordinate squared. Knowing the distance formula, let's go ahead and try to solve some problems now. We are told to find the distance between these 2 points. Let's go ahead and substitute these numbers into our formula. So we know that P1 and P2 are going to equal the square root of our second x coordinate, which is -4, which I got from over here, minus our first x coordinate, which is a -2, which I got from over here. All of this is squared, and then we are going to add our second y coordinate, which I got from here, which is 3, minus our first y coordinate, which is a -1. And we're going to square this as well. -4 minus a -2 equals -2. So we are going to have the square root of -2 squared plus 3 minus a -1 equals 4. So our second number is 4 squared. -2 squared equals 4. And 4 squared equals 16. Now we are going to add these together. So we are left with the square root of 20. However, we can reduce this even more. We do have a perfect square in the number 20. That number is 4. So we can take a 4 out, which will leave us with a 2 times the square root of 5. So this is our final answer. Let's go ahead and try to solve another problem. These are the points that are given to us. Let's go ahead and substitute these numbers into our formula. P1 and P2 are going to equal the square root of our second x coordinate, which is -5, minus our first x coordinate, which is 0. We will square this and then add it to our second y coordinate, which is -1, minus our first y coordinate, which is 6. This will also be squared. I'd like to remind you that it doesn't matter in which order you're subtracting the x or y coordinates. Remember how early on in the video we proved that the absolute value of a minus b equals the absolute value of b minus a. So it does not matter if you're subtracting 0 minus minus 5 or minus 5 minus 0. Minus 5 minus 0 equals negative 5. So we are going to have a negative 5 squared plus our second number. Minus 1 minus 6 equals minus 7. So our second number is going to be minus 7 squared. Minus 5 squared equals 25. And minus 7 squared equals 49. 25 plus 49 equals 74. So our final answer is going to be the square root of 74. Now let's go ahead and learn how to solve for the midpoint formula. This is what the midpoint formula says. The x-coordinate of the midpoint is going to be the first x-coordinate plus the second x-coordinate divided by 2. And our y-coordinate of our midpoint is going to be our first y-coordinate plus our second y-coordinate also divided by 2. Let's go ahead and try to find the midpoint of a line segment joining different points on a graph. Here are our first points. Let's go ahead and substitute them into our formula. So our first formula says the first x-coordinate plus the second x-coordinate divided by 2. Our first x-coordinate is the number 4. And our second x-coordinate is the number negative 3. So 4 plus negative 3 divided by 2 is going to be the x-coordinate of our midpoint. Now for the y-coordinate. The first y-coordinate plus the second y-coordinate. Our first y-coordinate is minus 6, and our second one is 2. So we're going to put those into our formula and divide this by 2. 4 plus a minus 3 equals 1, and 1 divided by 2 equals 1/2. So 1/2 is our first point. Negative 6 plus 2 equals minus 4. Minus 4 divided by 2 equals negative 2. So 1/2 negative 2 is our midpoint of a line segment joining the points 4, negative 6, and negative 3, 2. Let's do one more problem. Let's go ahead and find the midpoint of these 2 points. So first, we need to substitute the numbers that are given to us into our formula. So we're first going to take our 2 x-coordinates and add them together and divide by 2. Our 2 x-coordinates are 13 and 0. 13 plus 0 divided by 2 is going to equal the x-coordinate of the midpoint. Now for the y-coordinate. Our 2 y-coordinates are 6. So we are going to do 6 plus 6 and then divided by 2. 13 plus 0 divided by 2 equals 6.5. 6 plus 6 divided by 2 equals 6. So the midpoint of the line segment joining the points 13, 6, and 0, 6 is going to be 6.56. Thank you so much for watching this video about distance and midpoint formulas. I hope that you learned a lot. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below if you haven't already. Thanks again, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye!